Have you ever been told your eye pressure is a little high, yet no one explained what that really means for your daily life, especially at night when your eyes are supposed to rest? You may already be taking care of senior eye health, keeping up with exams, following recommendations, and still feeling that quiet concern about glaucoma progressing while you sleep. What often goes unnoticed is that what happens before bedtime can influence sleep and eye pressure, and that a simple food choice may help create a healthier nighttime environment for your eyes. This isn't about miracle cures or replacing medical care. It's about understanding why nighttime eye pressure matters, how sleep affects optic nerve health more than most people realize, and how small, practical habits can support glaucoma prevention in a natural way. By the end of this video, you'll see why this approach is often overlooked, why it works for some people, and how to use the best fruit before sleep without disturbing blood sugar or sleep quality. So pause for a second. Do you wake up more during the night than you used to? Do your eyes feel heavier in the morning? And what if something as simple as kiwi for eye health could help lower eye pressure naturally by improving what happens while you rest? The explanation behind this may be very different from what you've heard before. When eye pressure is mentioned, it's usually referring to intraocular pressure, created by fluid circulating inside the eye. The eye functions like a finely balanced hydraulic system, constantly producing and draining a clear fluid called aqueous humor. When this balance works well, pressure stays stable. When drainage slows or sensitivity changes, eye pressure can rise quietly, often without noticeable symptoms. This is especially important for senior eye health and glaucoma prevention, because pressure alone doesn't tell the full story. Some people live for years with higher readings and never develop damage, while others show optic nerve changes even with normal numbers. That's because optic nerve health depends not only on pressure, but also on blood flow, inflammation, and long-term resilience. Focusing only on numbers can be misleading and unnecessarily stressful. A smarter approach is to support the eyes as a system, improving circulation, calming inflammation, and reinforcing daily habits that contribute to natural glaucoma support. Once that perspective shifts, attention naturally turns to sleep, routine, and nutrition, all of which connect directly to sleep and eye pressure. That's where a key realization begins, because the eyes don't experience the same conditions at night as they do during the day. Why nighttime is a vulnerable period for eye pressure. Eye pressure is almost always measured during the day while sitting upright in a calm clinical setting. That snapshot is useful, but it doesn't reflect what happens across a full 24-hour cycle. The body is constantly adjusting, and the eyes respond to those changes. One of the most sensitive periods is nighttime, when posture, circulation, and internal rhythms shift. When you lie down to sleep, blood flow redistributes, venous pressure changes, and eye drainage dynamics subtly adjust. Research shows that nighttime eye pressure often trends higher than daytime levels, especially when sleeping flat. This doesn't mean danger is guaranteed, but it does mean nighttime isn't neutral for the eyes. Circadian rhythm adds another layer. The internal clock influences hormones, inflammation, and vascular tone, including in eye tissues. That's why sleep and eye pressure are so closely linked in discussions about glaucoma prevention and optic nerve health. Poor or fragmented sleep can keep the body in a mildly stressed state for hours, affecting circulation and recovery when the eyes should be resting. Many people over 60 experience lighter, more interrupted sleep. Frequent awakenings, reflux, late-night snacks, or that final cup of tea can quietly disrupt rest. Over time, these disruptions influence inflammation and blood flow, making it harder to lower eye pressure naturally. That's why what happens before sleep matters so much, because small bedtime habits can either support your eyes or work against them without you noticing. The bedtime mistake that quietly works against your eyes. A familiar pattern shows up again and again with senior eye health. The day ends, dinner is over, the body feels tired, but the routine that follows isn't eye-friendly. A salty snack, a small dessert, a large mug of tea or coffee for comfort, or a heavy meal eaten too late. None of this feels harmful in the moment, yet together these habits quietly shape what happens to eye pressure overnight. This isn't about discipline, it's about physiology. Heavy or sugary foods close to bedtime disrupt sleep cycles and increase awakenings. Caffeine late in the day often lingers longer than expected, especially after 60, keeping the nervous system alert when it should be slowing down. Fragmented sleep raises stress hormones and inflammation, which matters when delicate structures like the optic nerve are involved. Poor sleep affects circulation and the way sleep and eye pressure interact throughout the night. If the goal is to lower eye pressure naturally, this creates a hidden obstacle, because the body never fully enters a restorative state. Instead of resting, the eyes spend hours under small physiological stress. The smarter move isn't restriction, but substitution. Replacing heavy or stimulating bedtime habits with something lighter and calming, something that supports sleep and provides nutrients for optic nerve health. This is where food stops working against your eyes and starts becoming part of the solution, leading naturally to one simple choice that deserves closer attention. The number one fruit before sleep: kiwi. If one fruit consistently fits into a smart bedtime routine, especially when eye pressure and long-term glaucoma prevention are concerns, it's kiwi. Not because it's a miracle or a trend, but because it works with the body at night instead of against it. Kiwi is simple, predictable, and easy to repeat daily, which already makes it more effective than most complicated health strategies. It's important to set expectations clearly. Kiwi is not a treatment, it doesn't replace medication, and it isn't a cure. What it does offer, as the best fruit before sleep, is support in areas that matter when the goal is to lower eye pressure naturally. It helps improve sleep quality, delivers antioxidants that support optic nerve health, and does so without requiring supplements, preparation, or strict timing. What truly sets kiwi apart is its connection to sleep. Studies observing adults who ate kiwi fruit before bedtime found improvements in how quickly they fell asleep, how long they slept, and how often they woke during the night. These changes weren't dramatic overnight, but they were consistent, and for senior eye health, consistency matters far more than intensity. Better sleep doesn't just feel good, it changes the environment your eyes experience at night. When sleep stabilizes, the body spends fewer hours in a stressed, fragmented state. That matters because nighttime is when nighttime eye pressure patterns often shift. Kiwi doesn't force pressure down, but it supports conditions that allow the eyes to rest instead of struggle, a subtle difference that becomes meaningful over time. Once that connection is clear, the next question naturally follows. Why does sleep quality influence what happens inside the eye so strongly? Why better sleep could matter for eye pressure patterns? Sleep doesn't shut the body down, it changes how it operates. Hormones shift, blood flow redistributes, and the nervous system moves into a different rhythm. Research tracking eye pressure over a full day shows that these changes matter, because pressure often behaves differently at night than during the day, and posture alone can influence those patterns. This is why nighttime eye pressure has become such a focus in modern eye care. What's often overlooked is how sleep quality can either worsen or soften these nighttime changes. Fragmented sleep and frequent awakenings keep the body in a mildly stressed state, affecting circulation, vascular tone, and inflammation. Improving sleep and eye pressure isn't about chasing perfect numbers, but about creating a calmer internal environment so the eyes can recover. This is where kiwi fits naturally into natural glaucoma support. Kiwi hasn't been shown to directly lower eye pressure, and that honesty matters. But by helping you fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up less often, it may reduce one of the hidden stressors that makes nighttime harder on the eyes. Fewer awakenings often mean steadier blood flow and less stress hormone release, which supports optic nerve health over time. No single habit solves everything, but small advantages add up. A consistent bedtime, fewer sleep disruptions, and a gentle pre-sleep routine work together to support glaucoma prevention in a broader sense. Kiwi fits because it's realistic, sustainable, and easy to maintain night after night. The eye health nutrients that matter. Nutrition is often oversimplified in conversations about glaucoma prevention and optic nerve health. You're told to eat better, but rarely why that matters. The eye is one of the most metabolically active organs in the body, constantly exposed to light, oxygen, and microscopic stress. Over time, this creates oxidative pressure that affects how well the optic nerve tolerates eye pressure, especially with aging. That's why antioxidants and flavonoids matter. Antioxidants help reduce oxidative stress linked to inflammation and cellular aging, while flavonoids support vascular function and nerve protection. Large studies have shown that higher flavonoid intake is associated with more favorable glaucoma risk patterns, even when nighttime eye pressure itself doesn't change much. Food doesn't replace treatment, but it shapes the environment your eyes live in. Like maintaining a car, it's not just about watching the dashboard, but using better fuel and reducing strain. Nutrition supports natural glaucoma support by helping the optic nerve handle stress more efficiently, with vitamins like C and A, carotenoids, and polyphenol playing key roles. Kiwi fits well here. It's rich in vitamin C, contains beneficial polyphenol, and provides fiber that helps regulate blood sugar, which matters when you're trying to lower eye pressure naturally without disrupting sleep. It's light, easy to portion, and doesn't overload digestion late in the evening. What makes kiwi practical as the best fruit before sleep is that it delivers these benefits without overstimulation. No sugar rush, no digestive burden, no complexity. Once that makes sense, the focus naturally shifts to one final practical question: how to use kiwi at night without creating new issues. How to use kiwi before bed. When it comes to senior eye health and glaucoma prevention, simplicity matters more than intensity. The goal is to build a habit that fits smoothly into your evening. Kiwi works best when it becomes routine, not something you overanalyze. For most people, one kiwi about 45 to 60 minutes before bed is enough. This works well for sensitive digestion, reflux, or frequent nighttime bathroom trips, providing sleep support and antioxidants without weighing the body down. For many, this alone improves sleep and eye pressure patterns over time. Some people tolerate 2 kiwis about an hour before bed, a timing used in sleep research. The key is tolerance. If digestion feels heavy or sleep becomes restless, reducing the amount is the smarter move, especially when the goal is to lower eye pressure naturally, not add stress. A few simple guidelines help. Avoid pairing kiwi with sugary desserts or late-night snacks. Don't eat it immediately after a heavy meal, and keep liquids earlier in the evening if nighttime urination is an issue. These small adjustments often improve nighttime eye pressure indirectly by improving sleep continuity. Kiwi is only one piece of the picture, but when combined with supportive habits, it becomes a simple, effective tool. And that naturally leads to the next important factor in protecting long-term eye health, one that goes beyond pressure alone. Eye pressure isn't everything. Optic nerve blood flow matters too. For a long time, glaucoma was treated almost exclusively as a pressure problem. While eye pressure matters, it's not the full picture. Research and clinical experience now show that optic nerve health also depends on blood flow, oxygen delivery, and how resilient nerve cells are under stress, not just on a pressure number. This becomes even more important with senior eye health. As you age, blood vessels naturally lose flexibility, and the tiny vessels that supply the optic nerve are especially sensitive. If blood flow becomes inconsistent, particularly during sleep, nerve tissue may struggle even when eye pressure isn't very high. That's why 2 people with similar readings can have very different outcomes in glaucoma prevention. Nutrition plays a supporting role here. Diets rich in plant-based nutrients are consistently linked to better vascular function. Leafy greens, for example, provide dietary nitrates that help blood vessels relax and improve circulation. Large studies associate higher intake of these foods with lower glaucoma risk, not because they directly lower eye pressure naturally, but because they support the environment the optic nerve relies on. Kiwi doesn't replace leafy greens, and it doesn't need to. As the best fruit before sleep, it complements the bigger strategy by supporting sleep quality, antioxidant intake, and gentle digestion, all of which indirectly support circulation and nighttime recovery. This makes it a subtle but meaningful form of natural glaucoma support, especially when nighttime physiology plays such an important role. A more useful question than "does this lower pressure?" is whether a habit helps your eyes tolerate pressure better over time. When that shift happens, bedtime routines and food choices begin working together instead of competing. The best bedtime stack for people over 60 worried about eye pressure. Once the pieces are clear, the role of eye pressure, nighttime vulnerability, and the influence of sleep, circulation, and nutrition, the smartest move is simplicity. You don't need many rules, just a small system you can repeat consistently. That's where a bedtime stack becomes effective for glaucoma prevention and long-term senior eye health. The first pillar is simple: kiwi for eye health, eaten about 45 to 60 minutes before bed. One kiwi is enough for most people. It supports sleep gently and helps lower eye pressure naturally by improving the nighttime environment rather than forcing a result. If tolerated well, 2 kiwis can be tested, but consistency matters more than quantity. The second pillar is timing liquids. Stopping fluids 1 to 2 hours before bed reduces nighttime bathroom trips, one of the biggest disruptors of deep sleep after 60. Better sleep continuity directly supports healthier sleep and eye pressure patterns. Next comes caffeine awareness. Metabolism slows with age, and caffeine can linger much longer than expected. Even mild stimulation late in the day can keep the nervous system active at night. Moving caffeine earlier or switching to herbal options often improves sleep more than people expect. Head position also matters for some. Slightly elevating the head during sleep may influence nighttime physiology, though this should always be discussed with an eye doctor. It's part of a broader approach to managing nighttime eye pressure without medication changes. Finally, consistency ties everything together. Going to bed and waking up at similar times supports circadian rhythm, which plays a role in ocular physiology and optic nerve health. This routine may sound boring, but that's why it works. It's practical, sustainable, and realistic. After a short trial period, a natural question usually comes up: what if kiwi doesn't work for you? If you can't eat kiwi, the next best fruit options. Kiwi often stands out as the best fruit before sleep, but it isn't for everyone. Taste, digestion, or intolerance can get in the way. When that happens, the strategy doesn't fail. The focus simply shifts to supporting sleep, circulation, and optic nerve health without overstimulating the body at night. Berries are a strong alternative, especially blueberries, strawberries, and blackberries. They're rich in flavonoids and antioxidants linked to glaucoma prevention and vascular health. A small handful about an hour before bed works well, while larger portions may interfere with sleep and eye pressure balance. Citrus fruits like oranges, mandarins, and tangerines are another option. They provide vitamin C and flavonoids that support blood vessel function and connective tissue, both important for senior eye health. Grapefruit should be avoided if you take medications that interact with it. Tart cherry is often mentioned for sleep because of melatonin content, but juice adds sugar and liquid late at night, which can increase awakenings. If used, it's usually better earlier in the evening and in small amounts. All of these can support natural glaucoma support when used thoughtfully, though for simplicity and consistency, kiwi often remains the easiest option. Who should be careful with kiwi? Kiwi works well for many people, but no food is right for everyone. Smart health choices come from knowing when to adjust. For most adults focused on senior eye health, kiwi is safe, but some situations require caution. A known kiwi allergy is the clearest reason to avoid it. Mouth itching, throat irritation, or swelling can occur, especially with latex, fruit syndrome. In these cases, berries or citrus are better options without compromising glaucoma prevention. People with acid reflux or sensitive digestion at night should also pay attention. Kiwi is acidic, and discomfort close to bedtime is a sign to adjust timing, reduce the portion, or switch to a lower acid fruit. Medically restricted diets matter too. Advanced kidney disease, for example, may require potassium management. Kiwi contains potassium, so personal medical guidance is important here. Long-term optic nerve health is best supported by working within individual limits. The key takeaway is simple. Kiwi is a tool, not a rule. Start small, observe how your body responds, and adjust as needed. That keeps the approach flexible and aligned with natural glaucoma support rather than rigid habits. With expectations set realistically, it becomes easier to move to the final question. What results should you expect, and what shouldn't you expect at all? This is where mindset matters most. When nutrition, sleep, and natural glaucoma support are discussed, it's easy to fall into quick-fix thinking. The truth is simple. No fruit, no routine, and no bedtime habit will dramatically drop eye pressure in a few days, and any promise like that isn't realistic. What you shouldn't expect is a sudden change at your next eye exam just because you added kiwi for a week. You shouldn't expect to replace prescribed treatments or skip medical follow-ups. And you shouldn't expect perfection. The goal here isn't instant results, it's direction. With glaucoma prevention and senior eye health, progress is usually subtle and gradual. What you can expect are meaningful improvements over time. Many people notice better sleep consistency, falling asleep faster, waking up less, and feeling more rested in the morning. That alone improves sleep and eye pressure dynamics by reducing nighttime stress and creating a calmer internal environment for the eyes. As these habits repeat, they create a steady antioxidant rhythm that supports optic nerve health and overall resilience. You're not forcing pressure down, you're helping your eyes tolerate pressure better. Deeper sleep stabilizes stress hormones, supports circulation, and calms inflammation. Even if the main benefit is better sleep, that's still a major gain after 60, because better sleep supports blood pressure, memory, mood, energy, and movement, all of which indirectly support nighttime eye pressure control. This approach is closer to investing than gambling. No dramatic spikes, just steady habits that compound. And once that mindset settles in, it becomes easier to stay consistent and curious about what other small changes could quietly improve your health over time. Take a moment and think about how many nights have passed without intention, with sleep happening on autopilot. Now consider how many of those nights may have been quietly working against your eyes without you realizing it. When it comes to eye pressure and long-term glaucoma prevention, real change rarely comes from one big decision, but from small habits repeated night after night. Supporting optic nerve health doesn't require extreme measures. It often starts with understanding sleep and eye pressure, making smarter evening choices, and using simple tools like the best fruit before sleep to create a calmer environment for recovery. Whether kiwi works best for you or another option fits better, the real value is in applying what you've learned, not just hearing it. So here's the question to reflect on tonight. What's one small change you're willing to try? Adjusting your bedtime routine, paying closer attention to nighttime eye pressure, or giving natural glaucoma support a real chance by improving how you sleep? Share your answer in the comments, because your experience may help someone else walking the same path. If this video brought clarity, like it, share it with someone who cares about senior eye health, and subscribe to the channel for more practical health guidance. Turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. And before you go, there's another video on your screen that explores everyday habits affecting health in ways most people never talk about. Click it, keep learning, and keep taking care of your eyes, one smart decision at a time.